Hello and welcome to Mindful Living, where we explore the art of living with the intention, balance, and inner peace. I am Avik, your host, guiding you through conversations on health, meditation, mental well being, mindfulness, and the mind body connection. Each episode features expert insights to help you grow, heal, and thrive. So, take a deep breath, relax, and join us on this journey to a more mindful and fulfilling life. So, let's get started.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the Mindful Living podcast. Today we are venturing into a fascinating and illuminating topic, literally. We have Jason Yan with us, a former fitness and nutrition guru who discovered that true health isn't all just about food or exercise. His journey took a surprising turn when he stumbled upon circadian biology and the incredible role that light plays in our health. And Jason now coaches people on what he calls light hacking for optimal wellness. If you thought hitting the gym or just eating greens was the only key to health, Jason is here to shine some light on a whole new way to live. So get ready to explore how different kinds of light, from the sun to screens, impact our bodies and our minds. And ever thought about why you might feel drained working indoors, or why a sunny morning seems to put you in a great mood? Jason's got insights that might just brighten your day and your life. So, Jason, welcome to the show, and it's an absolute honor to have you with us.
Yes, Sona, thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it. Happy to be here.
So, Jason, let's kick things off by asking, how did you first discover the concept of circadian biology and light health?
Well, I was introduced to that in 2018 by Dr. Jack Cruz, who is basically the leader of the mitochondriacs. But it was actually the second time I was introduced to him. The first time was in 2013, but I simply wasn't ready for the message at that time because I was really gung ho into. I had supplements to sell you, nutrition programs to sell you, training programs to sell you, and whatnot. But it took about 5 years, about 3.5 to 4 years. I started getting sick with hormone issues, and in your late 30s as a man, that's not supposed to happen. So I had to start looking elsewhere because I was on what I consider the perfect diet, the perfect supplement program, the perfect workout program, but somehow I still got hormone issues. So started to look elsewhere, and I found Dr. Cruz again, and I was ready for his message, and basically it really turned my life around. So I say I didn't really get healthy until I was 40 and a half years old. So because the way I feel now it's completely different than how I felt before that, or even 10 years ago. So quite a change.
Yeah, it is. It is. And thank you so much for sharing this with our listeners. So, what exactly is circadian biology, and how what is the importance of light and circadian biology in our fitness and nutrition?
Well, circadian biology. So we are governed by a 24-hour cycle. Everybody knows that's basically the circadian rhythm. Everybody knows the sun goes up and the sun goes down at certain times of the day, and obviously it changes throughout the year. But everything inside of us is basically governed by a rhythm. So our hormones have a certain circadian rhythm. Some hormones are different. So like cortisol and melatonin are supposed to be on opposite ends of each other. So when one's high, the other's supposed to be low, and vice versa. But also when your blood pressure is supposed to be highest, when is the best time to work out, when is the worst time to work out, when you're supposed to eat is governed by your circadian rhythm and whatnot. So pretty much everything that we do is governed by a circadian rhythm. And if we get out of that rhythm, it's what's known as like a circadian rhythm disruption. And if that continues to go on, then you're going to have certain symptoms of disease. You're going to get inflammation. And if you don't treat that, that will just continue to get worse and worse until a full-blown disease is presented to you. But it's easy to change it around, but it's also hard to change it around because most people are ingrained into their habits, into their rituals and their addictions as well. So that's what keeps us unhealthy, is like lowering our dopamine with like certain addictions, and we get pulled into that. But I mean, the information, it's easy to present. It's just, are you ready to follow it? Like for me, it took me 5 years to change after initially hearing about Dr. Cruz and his information. So are you actually ready for the change? That's the big question. So
That's true. That is absolutely right. So, how does exposure to natural sunlight versus artificial light or the blue light, which we all get exposed to, laptops, mobiles, phones, the impact our physical and mental health?
Well, the sun basically the sun's frequency is changing from the time it rises to the time it sets. So the typical range is sunrise is typically around 1800 Kelvin, and then when it sets, it's around 16,000 Kelvin.
Oh.
But like the light that we have on our phone, the light, our overhead light, the fluorescent lights, the LEDs, the headlamps, all that stuff, it's typically set at either somewhere between 5,500 to 6,500 Kelvin, which equates to about 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. So if you're always getting that signal that it's 12 p.m., 1 p.m., it's a very stimulating time. We're not supposed to be going to bed. We're supposed to be out doing things, being productive. That's when we're supposed to be full of energy and whatnot. So if we're always exposed to that light, especially at night, that's when it gets the worst. That light is going to basically, it will shut down melatonin, which we need to sleep and get into deep sleep, so we can actually restore our body. It will destroy our dopamine. And it's actually very addicting. I don't know if you've been to it, but here in America, in like casinos and whatnot, it's loaded with blue light. They have no windows. They have no time clocks in there. Because they want you, and they'll give you free alcohol. They basically just want you to stay in there, betting your money away so that they can make more money. So it's very stimulating. So typically you'll do things that you're not supposed to be doing when you're under blue light. And if it's on your phone or it's on your TV, you'll keep staring at it, keep watching it, and that's what it gets you addicted to it. And yeah, it's our addictions that drive our habits, and the habits will drive our either our health processes or our disease process.
True, that is true. Oh, totally agreeing with that, Jason. So we have talked about the effects, we have talked about the definition, but what are some of the biggest myths that you have encountered about health in the fitness industry that light science contradicts?
Well, the biggest, I think, is just working out under the artificial light. So I'm eventually going to write a book, and I've already picked the title. It's like why working out in a gym is bad for your health. And probably the number one reason is because of that artificial light. So one big thing that artificial light does is it dehydrates you. And it dehydrates your mitochondria more specifically. So if we are dehydrated, basically none of the processes in us work properly. A lot of them will get shut down completely. Some of them will get turned down a whole lot. But things don't start to work. And when you're dehydrated, the water is our number one molecule. So it's said that water makes up about 99.7 to 99.9% of our molecules in our body. So water is basically, it's the communication facilitator. So
Mm.
water captures the light, it holds the light, it transfers the light to everywhere it needs to go, to the cells, to the mitochondria. It makes the hormones, the enzymes, all that stuff go. But if it's the wrong type of water, or it's not, or if you're dehydrated, then things are not going to work inside of you. So unless when you're in a gym, most people are working out hard, they're sweating. Um, Usually it's air conditioning, so the air is just being recirculated, and so you're breathing harder, which is going to make it harder to regenerate that water. So it's just a process of continual dehydration, and once that starts, then inflammation starts to rise. And I mean, anytime you do work out, you're going to experience rise in cortisol, which is the stress hormone. But anytime you're under blue light, that's going to give you that stress hormone response as well. So it's going to stimulate the sympathetic nervous system. So it's basically like if you wake up, you're under blue light. You go to work, you're under blue light. You go to the gym, you're under blue light. You come home, watch TV, you're under blue light. It's basically like our body is experiencing like super stress. It's like a tiger is always around the corner trying to eat us. Yeah. So that's something we need to try and get away from it. But I mean, in the gym, you've also got now all the gyms have Wi-Fi, and yeah. So
that's
Wi-Fi is another EMF that basically just destroys us and whatnot. So so those are two of the big reasons why working out in a gym is bad. But you can easily, I always tell people to just start your own home gym. You're that way you can navigate the lighting situation. So if it's a little colder, you can put whatever lights you have. So we've got blue light free bulbs, or if it's warmer, you can just go outside and work out where you're supposed to work out. And that will help your sleep. That will help your workouts. They'd be more efficient. You'll recover better. All the benefits of exercise are basically multiplied when you're doing that kind of thing.
true. That's true. And I was having a discussion with one of my guests, regarding hormonal cycles with related to menopause or perimenopause in women. So there also she very well explained about the influence of blue light in stimulating cortisol, which disrupts the sleep cycle and
Yes.
inhibits the growth of melatonin, which actually helps in balancing our sleep cycle. So how does light influence our energy levels, mood, and hormone balance, and why is it more impactful than people actually realize?
Well, it's basically, so like the sunrise, I always say, is the most important thing for a human to experience. So seeing the sunrise with naked eyes, so no sunglasses, no contacts. If you do wear eyeglasses, just pull them down or take them off, so the sun will get actually into your eye. And that sunrise is basically it's the start code for turning on certain hormones. Mostly the sex steroid hormones, so testosterone, estrogen, pregnenolone, the thyroid hormone, all that stuff. And when these hormones get out of whack, then things start to go pretty much haywire, because it's pretty much, your hormones are basically a controller for you. So they're going to control your mood, they're going to control your actions. So if you don't have proper control of them, then that's when life can get pretty messed up, and that's when like other addictions can start to occur. Because what I always tell my clients is the second most important is when UVA light comes out. So that's typically when the sun gets over 10-degree angle. So when UVA comes out, ultraviolet light, that is the signal to start to make certain things. So nitric oxide, melatonin's made in UVA light, dopamine, and also beta endorphins, which is basically it's like the sun's opioid. So the sun is basically telling you you're supposed to be addicted to the sun. And if we block it, because a lot of people will block it with like sunscreen or sunglasses,
Uh-huh.
I always make the reference to like Michael Jackson and George Michael and Prince and like rock stars.
Uh-huh.
They're usually performing late at night under blue light and a giant spotlight on them, and then they usually miss the sunrise. I think Michael was waking up at like 1 or 2 p.m. in the afternoon.
Mm.
So they don't have that ability to make the beta endorphins, so they turn to other things. So like uh, painkillers, um, drugs. George Michael was a big pot smoker, so it basically just they're just trying to replace the opioid feeling with something. So I mean, it can be anything. It can be video games. I was addicted to video games as a boy and a young man. It can be food. It can be gambling. It can be porn. It can be a host of things. And yeah, so if we don't get the right light signatures, then basically everything goes haywire, because we're supposed to collect the light during the day, and then at night we're supposed to release the light, and that release of light is supposed to basically signal to our cells and our mitochondria, hey, you need to start doing this process, you need to start doing that process, because our two change programs that we activate at night when we're asleep is called apoptosis and autophagy. So it's basically like our apoptosis is basically taking out the trash. So we're taking out the bad cells, bad mitochondria, and replacing them with good. And then autophagy is basically cellular recycling. So if those processes don't happen, then you're basically living on the same proteins, the same cells, day in, day out, week in, week out, month after month. So you don't actually regenerate the body. And that's when the body can really start to age. One book I do recommend is Roland Van Wyck's book, Light Sculpting Life. And he's got research studies in there from like the 1940s, 1950s, showing that every single living thing actually releases extreme low frequency ultraviolet light. So, and the sicker you are, the more you start to release. And so that's actually causing a cell signaling problem. It's not supposed to release that much. So then you have like overdrive, so hyperdrive or underdrive. So you can have like hypothyroid or hyperthyroid. It all depends on the environment that you put yourself in and whatnot. So.
Interesting. So before we wrap up, Jason, for those of us who spend most of the day indoors, to be honest, I'm also one of them. Are there any specific strategies or routines you recommend to harness the benefits of light?
Yes. So I always recommend trying to get outside and ground at least an hour a day. So grounding is basically going barefoot, because that's one of the things shoes. I live by the Native American proverb, which says, take off your shoes, they'll make you sick. So you can ground in the grass, you can ground in sand. The best place is like if there's like a beach, any natural body of water you can ground in. But trying to get an hour of that when the sun is out. So that will get you an hour of sun. When you are indoors, there's things that you can do. So on your computer, there's a software that takes out the blue light and the flicker. It's called Iris. So I think I've got I think it's improvementwarriorfitness.com/Iris, and that'll take you there. But it basically takes all the blue light out, and you can adjust it. So if you are somebody like a graphic designer or somebody, you need to see color, you can switch it on and off or change the settings throughout the day and periodically. The other thing is blue blocking glasses. So I recommend those for anybody who's typically on a computer all day long. I know this is a audio podcast, but I am outside grounded. So I always set my workstation up outside when it is warmer here where I am in Ohio. But when I do go inside, I use a grounding rod So there's a copper rod right outside my office window, and it's connected to a copper wire. And then I just put on a wristband that snaps, so that way I'm grounded there. I don't recommend like the grounding products where you plug into an electric outlet, because then you're going to get dirty electricity in your body as well, which we don't want. And then I have the iris, and then I have the blue blocking glasses. So during the day, there's like there are three types of blue blocking glasses. So there's the yellow, that's like the day blockers, and then there's the orange, and then there's the red. Red blocks all the blue and green light. That's the one I typically wear after sunset. Yeah, but it's to each his own. You've got to figure out what you need. I'm always open to questions, so if people want to contact me, ask me further questions about that, I'm happy to help in that regard.
Lovely, lovely, Jason. And if listeners want to connect with you and explore about your resources, how can they do that?
Well, the best way is probably to get on my Improvement Warrior newsletter. So that's where I send everything that I'm doing, and new articles and blogs and podcasts and whatnot. So that's improvementwarriorfitness.com/NL. But otherwise, if people are on social media, so Facebook and Instagram is usually where I'm posting the most. So I am sun.yun.jason there. And on Twitter, I'm Yun Training, and also YouTube, I'm there as well. So I've got over, I think, 1,500 videos on YouTube. But yeah, usually I post, when I do a post, I'll like put a little hashtag at the end that says like blue light with Yun or sunlight with Yun. So that way you can just click it and you can go down a deeper rabbit hole on that subject if you're so inclined.
Lovely, lovely. We'll have all the details mentioned for our listeners. And I could literally feel the wind blowing, so I could realize that yes, you are sitting outside. And
Yep.
such a lovely feeling. So, Jason, thank you so much for this enlightening conversation. We have covered so much today in just a short time duration, from the surprising role of light in our health and mindset to transformative power of circadian biology. And of course, your journey from fitness and nutrition guru to circadian health advocate has truly shown us a new dimension of wellness. So
Yes.
thank you so much, Jason.
Yes, Sonia, thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it. Anytime.
And listeners, we hope Jason's insights have inspired you to think about or think outside the traditional health box and explore new ways to support your body and mind. So don't forget to check out the show notes. And thank you so much for joining us on the Mindful Living. If you enjoyed this conversation, please share it, leave a review, or let us know your thoughts. And don't forget to connect with Jason and check out his courses. And until next time, stay mindful and keep living your best life.